afternoon everyone, welcome to day 129 in my BMW M140i. Mileage at the moment is 15,861, so just coming up on 6,000 miles since I bought this. Today I have a quick update on some costs of ownership. Since my last video, it's been a very expensive few weeks. The first thing I had done was the oil service. The reminder in the iDrive had come up, so I booked it into a local German car specialist, the local BMW dealer. Didn't fill me with too much confidence, plus the price was a factor, £195, and they did a really good job with it. It all went well, except for one thing that they spotted, which was a bulge in the sidewall on one of the rear tyres. The driver's side rear tyre had a very tiny bulge in the sidewall. Just going back to when I bought the car, when I first saw it on the forecourt at the dealership, it had Michelin Pilot Super Sports all round. Rears were good, plenty of tread left, but the fronts needed replacing. So I said to the dealer, sort that out, I'm not driving it away like that with those front tyres, but I wanted matching tyres, and he said, yep, no problem, I'll stick some matching tyres on for you. On collection day, by the time I got there, it was sunny on the drive up. If you look at my video where I went there in my Focus, it was sunny on the drive up, but by the time I got there it was pouring with rain. I mean, torrential downpour. So I had a quick walk around the car. All four tyres said Bridgestone Potenza on the sidewall. All four tyres had the same tread patterns. Yep, job done. I was happy with that, so I drove away. But I should have checked more thoroughly. What he'd fitted was, yeah, it was four Bridgestone Potenzas, but it was a mix of S001s, RE050s, and some run flat, some non-run flat as well. And looking closer at them, yeah, there was a bulge in the sidewall at the rear. It was very slight. I needed the dealership to point it out to me because they told me which tyre it was on and I still couldn't see it, but there's a bulge there nonetheless. So that needed to get replaced. Was I just going to put one random tyre on there and then head off to Goodwood in a couple of weeks' time with four mismatched tyres, some run flats, some non-run flats? Absolutely not. So I had a full set of Michelin PS4s fitted. The place where I had the tyres fitted, they had the full Hunter equipment, so I had a Hunter alignment. The previous owner had fitted the underbody brace, which is a popular mod to these things. He warned me that when you do that, you should get the tyres realigned, and he'd not had that done. So it was no surprise when up on the ramps that the rears were out and needed adjusting, but the fronts were okay. The fronts were all good. So I now have four Michelin PS4s, all pointing in the right direction, all set for Goodwood in about a week and a half now. Can't wait. I took the opportunity while they were fitting the tyres to ask them not to fit the centre caps, because that's something that's been bugging me from day one, and that is that the centre caps weren't properly aligned with the M badge logo on each of the wheels. So I asked them to leave the centre caps out. They gave them to me, and then when I got home I adjusted the pressures and then popped the centre caps back in. So they're all properly aligned now, which, you know, keeps the car OCD happy. One thing to note on the tyres, and worth mentioning for anyone considering making the switch from a Focus RS to this, and I know there's a few. Someone today I saw on Instagram has just taken delivery of his M140i Shadow Edition. It's a popular choice. If you are considering making that move, the tyres on a like-for-like basis, a set of four tyres on this at £450 are £200 cheaper than a set of four tyres on the Focus RS. £200 saving. I could spend that on some proper front brake pads. I will, if I find out the standard ones at Goodwood wilt a bit too easily. We'll see. I'm only doing 2 half days that I've got booked, one in March, one in May now, not April. But I can't see the brakes really giving me a problem in half a day, and it's only short stints. But yeah, the saving from the tyres would pay for a decent set of front pads. So the costs of everything over the last few weeks: tyres, £450. That wasn't expected. The Hunter alignment, £60. I kind of knew I had to do that, but I hadn't planned on it just yet. And then the oil service at £195. So yeah, quite an expensive few weeks. Here's a few charts of my costs. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I log every single penny, detail. And here's what my car's cost me so far. The costs and the depreciation are racking up. And then the last cost in the last few weeks isn't included in those charts and tables because it's not really a true cost of ownership, and that is the cost of the 2 Goodwood track days that I've booked. That was just over £360. Not bad for 2 half days, and running in the afternoons at Goodwood, you pretty much have the track to yourself because everyone leaves early, or their cars break down, or they get black flagged and get sent home. So it's nice and quiet in the afternoon, so I should get some good track time. Of course, there's a lot more cost to come. I made a video on what track days really cost, the full detail, when I took my Focus RS out last year. So if you want to watch that, click that thing up there. There'll be a link to the video if you want to go and see what track day really costs when you're running in a car of this sort of class and power. And then further to that, of course, in between the 2 track days, the March and the May one, I have to get my locking M Performance BMW rear plated Drexler differential fitted. That's going to happen, well, we'll see, a few weeks after the track day. I think give me a chance to, you know, break down and analyse what happened, and then I'll go and get the diff fitted. So I'll have a good few weeks driving on the road to get some impressions, and then I'll be taking it back to Goodwood in May. Is it the must-have modification that everyone says? See, that was full bore in second gear then, and it didn't break traction once. It did in first, but not in second. So, you know, what are the benefits of having a diff on the road? I think it will help, you know, not lighting up the inside rear wheel when you've got some steering lock on. But in a straight line, even in the wet, do you really need it? I aim to, you know, really explore it and find out. And lastly, to the regular viewer, you've probably noticed this thing up here, which is my new dash cam that I've got fitted. It's quite a nice discreet one, seems to be working okay so far. If you want to see what that is, how I installed it, I do have a power adapter as well for a parking mode, which I'm going to try and hardwire in at some point, although generally I don't do electric, so I'm going to need some help from someone. But I'll be making a video on that camera and the installation of it soon. That is it for this one today. I hope you enjoyed it, found it useful. If you did, please give it the required thumbs up, give it a thumbs down if you think it's a load of trash. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you very much for watching.